Hello and welcome to week 4 of our conference update. I'm Cade. I'm helping out with the conference, and today we are going to be talking with Phil and Mike on lab profitability. But of course, I have my updates I need to give at the first. So let me share my screen here. Uh, Again, this is a conference week 4. If you haven't known, we are having the ORG is having their official conference and that is April 1st and 2nd. It's in Irving, Texas. Don't know what the weather was like. We were just discussing that backstage, but hopefully it's supposed to be good weather. And so come to Texas, come meet everybody. We have over 50 registrations now, and those are all lab owners and technicians and in-house lab techs. So come meet some people, meet your peers, and learn some new things. So with that being said, I want to thank some sponsors that are helping us put this on. We are in connection with DLAT, the Dental Lab Association of Texas. They put on this conference every year, and we are joining with them as a sister association to put on our ortho conference, or the only ortho 2-day conference in the nation, pretty much, maybe the world. We couldn't do it without these sponsors. And in the exhibit hall, we have our own ortho alley, so to speak. So all these exhibitors in a special ortho lab dedicated section in the exhibit hall. And we're talking Priscilla from JBC and Company. She's going to be there. She's front and center because she's helped build this conference and build this association from day one. And of course, we got Whipmix and Leone America, Partners Dental Studio, Sunstone Welders, Panadent Articulators, Dentarum, Precision Dental Supply, Specialty Appliance, and EasyRx. So come see them, meet them, ask them questions, ask for discounts. You know how you ask for swag. You know how that goes with conferences. So again, if you come, registration is online, orthodonticresource.com. It is a 2-day full registration. All classes are included. There is an extra fee for CPR if you want to do CPR certification, but you'll see that on the registration. It's $300 per person, and ORG members, you actually get $100 off. So if you go to the site, orthodonticresource.com, click where the red arrow is on that little banner there, you'll be taken to the conference here, the conference portal, and where the red arrow is the menu, and you can see who the speakers are, who the exhibitors are, the schedule, the courses, and of course the registration button. So speaking of you ORG members, to get your $100 off, you see that purple box on the right hand side. That's where you would click to get your $100 off. There's a special little route you got to take, and you get $100 off per person. And so looking at the registration page on the left, there's your general admission for $300, CPR certification $55, an extra meal ticket. So if you bring your partner, wife, spouse, husband, whoever, they can come join you, and we just ask if they pay for the meals. So once you click that purple box, you'll be taken to your My Account. This is how ORG members can get their discount, and you'll be asked to log in. Click on the authorization tab up there, and you'll see a red link. You click on that link, and you'll be taken to a special registration page where the $100 off has already been taken out. Otherwise, if you still have the other registration page open that I had before, that blurred out section down there is the code that you put in the bottom. Again, this is at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport Marriott in Irving, Texas. And if you don't know, Irving, Texas is exactly between Dallas and Fort Worth, and just minutes from the DFW airport. So if you fly into DFW airport, and the hotel offers free shuttle to and from the airport, so you don't have to worry about renting a car or anything. And you get taken straight to the conference in your hotel room. Now, we need to talk about the room block. DLAT is offering their room block to ORG attendees. It's $120 a night, which is a really great rate. And the deadline to get your reservations in is March 17th. So March 17th, make sure you get your reservations. But let's talk about that. The group room rate is full. We've had so many exhibitors coming and attendees coming on both ORG and DLAT side. The room block room rate, I can't say that right, is full, but DLAT is adding new rooms to the block every night. So when you register, you'll get an email, and at the bottom of the email, you'll see hotel reservations, and there's a link there. And I'm getting a call. Maybe that's the hotel telling me there's rooms. No. I should turn off my ringer like I'm in church or something, but I didn't. Anyway, you'll see there's an alert says we're currently out. Go ahead and try the hotel room rate. Josh, if you haven't done it already, go ahead and put the links for those down below in the chat so people have access to them. So try the Marriott link first, and let's see if I can switch over here. You'll go to this page, and then you'll check availability. And if it's see right now there's none available, but keep checking it. Try it the next morning. If it doesn't work, use that second link, and it will take you to this form, and your name will be put on a list, and we'll submit your name and get your reservation at the conference. So we have a guy dedicated on the DLAT side, and every night he's submitting names to get that group room rate. So just wanted to let y'all know about that. Again, down below is the event app, so you can try that. It's going to be the program for the event, so you can look at the schedule. You can add classes, remove classes, see the speakers, and that kind of stuff. So you can download that and try that out. If you want to ask questions about the conference or about the talk when we interview these speakers, you can ask it down in the comments below, and we'll bring it up in the chat. But you got to give Facebook permission. There should be instructions if you're on Facebook to click on the StreamYard, or if you're watching in Facebook on the YouTube, actually go to YouTube and you can chat, and we'll bring it up on screen and answer your questions about the conference. So again, you'll be taken to that right there. So today we are going to be talking to, there's someone that said hi. See, we're bringing up, see, Facebook user, hi. I don't know who that is, but how are you doing? So today we're talking with Mike and Phil. They're teaming up together, talking about increasing laboratory profitability. And that's going to be April 1st, 8:30 a.m. They're kicking off the whole conference. So we're going to talk about profit at the very beginning. And so we got Michael Wright. He's CEO of Orthodent Lab, and Phil Pelligra, probably messed that up. Sorry, Phil. President and owner of Perfect Finish Ortho Lab. Two big labs, and they're coming together, and we're gonna talk about profitability in your lab. So actually, let me bring those guys on, because I know this is going to be exciting, right, Mike? This is going to be super exciting.
My goal, like I said, is to get you excited about this. At the end of this, you are going to look at a P&L and be like, yes, thank you for coming to Texas.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
And you're partnering up with Phil.
Yep.
So Phil, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I know it's not the most sexy topic, but we're going to make it sexy.
We're going to make it fun. No, it's going to be good, because I think that when you're looking at a P&L, it can be super boring. So I totally understand what you're saying. But we're going to talk about how this piece of paper or this data helps to tell a story about how your company's doing. And what's really important about that is that you can do so much with the P&L that once you understand how it works, you can start to almost pull levers here and there to make some really good changes in the laboratory. So those are the things that I'm super excited to talk about, because it's not necessarily about the P&L. It's really about what you can do with that profitability within the laboratory. So we're going to be talking about people. We're going to be talking about culture, really with the story of the P&L kind of driving a lot of that.
Yeah, Phil. So how did y'all decide to tackle this? Y'all have had some in-person meetings.
Yeah, Mike and I, we've been friends for a long time, and we work together. Our labs work together. So yeah, we've met a few times. I've been to his lab, and he's been down to mine recently. So we just thought it'd be fun to do this together, and like Mike said, I mean, I think we all in orthodontics, the techs and the owners, we really all love what we do. We wouldn't be doing this, but at the end of the day, we do want to be compensated for our time. So we want to try to make the best use of our time, right, and make money.
Right.
So we're going to hope to try to really give you some tips and tricks. We're both, I'd like to think we're both very successful at what we do, and maybe share with everybody some of the things that we look for or maybe some of the things that we're doing. Mike and I definitely have two different styles. I mean, I'm older than him. I'm a little more old school, but we do some things the same, and we do some things differently. And I think that's what's going to be really neat about the meeting.
Yeah, well, that's the fun part about it, is that you can use this to tailor to your style. So I'm not a finance guy at all. You know, I was taught to look at the numbers, and one of the things that I remember my dad always said, you know, a while back, he said, "Hey, if there's money in the bank, then we're doing okay." I was like, "Okay, I guess that's how this works." But once I started to get a better understanding about it, it started to really help me where to drive the business. I just remember there were so many times when, you know, I would have a third payroll that we had to do within a month, and I didn't have any money. And I'd have to go to the bank. I'd have to, you know, pull from the line of credit just to be able to pay the payroll. And I thought that's just how you did things. And then, you know, things happened. You know, you had COVID that hit. There's just so many things that happened as I started to get more of an understanding of how these numbers worked and how the story went, that we were able to use it to our advantage with like I said, so many different levers to pull. So I'm going to tell a couple stories just on how it's helped me immensely, just getting a better understanding. And it kind of almost, you know, saved our business in a way, because you don't know what you don't know. So I've learned a ton from Phil just on how he runs the business and all the other folks that are doing this. And we do things differently, but at the same time, there's a format, or there's a way to kind of look at these things that can help you be more successful.
Well, let me ask you. You brought up, you know, your second, maybe third generation Ortho Lab owner, Mike.
Yeah, we're second generation. My dad started it.
Phil, are you first generation Ortho Lab owner?
First generation. Yeah, I've been doing this since '84. So
y'all kind of came from different. I'm sure, Mike, you adopted some stuff from yours, and Phil, you kind of had to start from scratch, and then y'all both came to the profit and loss statement from different angles.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, maybe different from Mike. I do like numbers, and so does my wife. We're numbers people, so almost to a fault. But it has helped us be successful, because sometimes we like diagnosing the numbers and looking at the profit and loss statement in each category. I can give you percentages of almost every category off the top of my head in my lab and how it's run. And it can, you know, some people think that's tedious, but I do like to think that really helps make us successful at our lab. And I think that's what we want to try to let the other attendees know. Like, you should know what things are costing you. Like, you know, what percentage of your expenses are your shipping costs? I mean, just things as simple as that. You should be able to know off the top of your head, and so you can diagnose: are you losing money in that category, or are you making money?
Now let me throw this up to both of y'all. The size of the lab, does that matter?
Of course not.
No.
It matters whichever way you go. We all talk about hiring out. You know, we interviewed Trisha last week, and it was about delegation, what you're good at, finding other people's gifts. So did y'all find someone? Phil, you say you love the numbers, you and your wife, so I'm sure y'all pour over that, but recommend hiring out bookkeepers or bringing someone on to do it?
That's a good point. I mean, if it's not your strength, if your strength as a technician is working at the bench, you might be better served by getting somebody. You know, my accountant once told me a long time ago, accountants are worth their weight in gold if you have a good one. So they pay for themselves. So it is good to have somebody behind you.
So they're free. Yeah. I didn't know this. Accountants are free.
Indeed. I mean,
that's how I do my math.
A good accountant can save you more than you would be able to save on your own. That's for sure. It pays for their fee.
Right. So yeah, it gives you a sense of visibility into what the lab is doing. I had to bring somebody on to help me with the numbers. You know, I am a huge fan of the mantra of just surround yourself with people smarter than you. And so when it comes to finance, that's what I did, because I need someone to help me kind of understand the story, and then I can figure out what to do with it. But we're going to get an understanding at the talk as far as, you know, the numbers. We're going to dive into them a little bit more. But I know I'm super excited about the portion I want to talk about is, what do you do with it if, you know, as the company starts to become successful? Because I'm going to talk and really dive into culture, because the angle I'm going to look at is that profitability doesn't come from me. It comes from my folks. And it comes from my people. And that's really what the foundation of the company in ODL is. So how do I make sure that I have the right people in place? What is the culture? How do we instill a culture? I know it doesn't sound like it's part of a profitability talk, but At the same time, it's your people that are driving profitability. So we're going to get into lean manufacturing. We're going to talk about just little tidbits to drive that profitability, to drive the culture. Because I look at it in a more holistic view of how does every little thing we do count? So we're going to dive into all of it. Me and Phil at the same time, it was funny. We both had a profit sharing program that we both rolled out at the same time. So we're going to dive into that a little bit, which I think is
very cool.
Because once you start to get profitability in the lab, you can do some things with it, and you drive that whole sense of of ownership to the folks on the floor, and then they start helping you drive it, and you're all working and looking in the same direction. And so, to your point, Cade, even if you're smaller and you're hiring people, hiring the right people, because it's super expensive if you hire the wrong person.
Oh yeah, I've always heard that.
So it's all a collective of information that me and Phil have talked about from kind of soup to nuts here. So yes, it's about profitability, and we're going to talk about some of the P&L stuff. Not the most exciting, but there's some things in here of what you can do that I think could change how you actually operate your business.
Yeah, we're going to target in on some specific areas if anybody's interested, but we're just teasing them today. But looking at some specific categories. But like Mike helped me, he taught me some things about culture. And I've always embraced it. I don't think I was really calling it anything. But like Mike said, I think what we're going to talk about, especially nowadays in the last 2 years, we've all really seen it, is how important our staff, our team really is, and how to retain them, and how that can make you more money by getting the right people and retaining them and rewarding them. We always talk about in our field of how we should be rewarded and we should be paid as much as we can, because we know it's a difficult field to work in. You have to be have skill, and we always feel like we were underpaid in the orthodontic field. So we're trying to bring that up, and we're going to talk about that a little bit and how to make sure that you're taking care of people the best you can.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Even though Mike has threatened to just stare at me the whole time during the conference, but I think it's going to be fun to be.
It'll be fun. We'll make it interactive. We want to be
fun.
Participation. That's the beauty of what we're doing here at DLAD is it's open, and it's going to be we're going to be able to have conversation with everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to spark up a lot of conversation. So we're coming to a close in our time. I just want to just remind everybody, if you want to come be a part of this and be a part of this community, you're going to be welcomed in open arms, no matter what you've done. And I promise you will take home something new that you can learn, that you can implement in your lab day one when you get back. It happens to me every year, and humble yourself, and we appreciate you tuning in, and tune in next week. We're going to have Lance, the president of ORG. We're going to wrap this up and give you some final details on the conference, and talk and take your questions till then. So everybody, I'll see y'all next week. Thanks, Mike, and thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Cade. Great job, as usual.
We're looking forward to y'all's conference, and I'll make sure that I'm front and center.
There you go.
All right, bye-bye, guys.
All right.
See you, Cade.